Hey, everybody. Welcome to What Drives Us, episode 208. 208. We're at episode 208. Hey, thank you for the sign language, Tony. I appreciate that. It's December 7th, 2016. My name is Russell Frost, and I am your host for this evening. And I am very, very honored and privileged to be joined by two of my favorite panelists. Let's introduce them and get this show on the road, baby. First, let's see, closest to me on my screen. He is our man in Canada. His name is Mark Coghlan.
Hello, everybody. Did you hear that, Tony? Favorite.
Yes.
Don't let it go to your head.
He says that every week. Don't worry about it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do kind of.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Looking forward to another good one.
There you go. And next to him, my other favorite panelist,
Favorite.
Mr. Tony Schaefer.
Keep digging, Russell. Keep digging.
Can I just show this off for a second?
Green Drive,
Yeah!
2009, baby. That's awesome.
Going old school.
Retro.
That is old school. That's great.
This is, and you'll see this kind of works in with a little retro theme in the show. So.
Oh, okay. Right. Cool.
So I'm sorry, Mr. Tony Schaefer.
No, well, yeah. Thinking of retro, I am recording the show using IE8.
Good luck with that.
So if I cut out in the middle, you'll understand why.
Yeah. Does that even exist anymore?
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I do have you know what I do? I actually do have a virtual machine on my computer that runs Windows XP, only because I have a few Microsoft applications that I really enjoy using, and they did not upgrade. And so I have a VM, and I'm sure it probably has IE8 on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would kill I remember fond memories of Netscape Navigator, but that's because, look at me, I'm old.
Yeah. I just liked watching the thing when it was, the swirl as it was.
Thank you.
That was it.
Well, now that you know that everyone who's on this show is old and remembers the internet long before most of you were born, and yes, we do. It's that old.
And it was there, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, should we just get into the news? I think.
Yeah, why not? We got nothing better to do.
You know, arguably, you might be right. Let's see. Now I have to go do this. Oh no! Now see, this is the technical problems I was worried about. I want to start off the show. I don't get to be dramatic very often. So I've taken a moment to be a little dramatic. So you'll forgive me if this is, a little. So here we go. So it was 20 years ago yesterday that our good friend Chelsea Sexton, pictured there in the driver's seat or standing outside of the driver's door of that brand new EV1, rolled that bad boy out for the first time. And we just wanted to say congratulations. I mean, this is undoubtedly a milestone. I don't even, can you overstate how big a milestone the EV1 was?
No, it was, it was groundbreaking, and it was a trailblazer.
There you go. Let's, look at that. There's Chelsea. Where's Chelsea? Chelsea. Oh, there she is right there. If you can see my cursor.
Third from the right.
Right there. Chelsea. This is not Chelsea. This is Chelsea. I'm pointing at my screen and no one can see that matters.
No, we can see your cursor.
Yeah.
And then, of course, here we've got some other Chelsea there. Chelsea in the car. And I think I've seen her in that pose in an EV1 at least 6 different times over the last 20 years.
It's patented, of course.
It is, yeah. And, she pulls it up. So, hey, you know what? Cheers. Congratulations to her. Congratulations to all of those people, who did that, because that's in huge part. and this is, I don't want to get too metaphysical, but you almost have to go, you know what, in a way, GM crushing those EV1s kind of energized a community and helped set us up for where we are now. If they hadn't, arguably, maybe we'd be ahead, maybe not. Maybe the EV1 would have fizzled out. You know what I mean? Like we just, you can't know like which intersection in history is the most important. But without a doubt, GM developing, introducing, and putting on the road the EV1 was a huge first step, and we trace back all of the cars that we love today right back to that.
Yeah, basically a starting point, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it was the high point in GM's career.
What?
Oh,
That's it?
You just had to go there, didn't you? You just had to
Maybe
go
not the
there.
high point, but it was the turning point, I suppose.
Go ahead, say the V word, Mark. Go ahead, just get it in there, because
Volt.
Chevy has this rather successful car called the Volt that
Some people like.
One or two idiots.
Right. I dare you to name one person.
Yeah, who will actually stand up and take credit for that? I'm a Volt fan.
Yeah,
we love the. I love the Volt.
No, yeah, I know.
So
so 20 years. That is.
Isn't that weird?
That really is weird.
I'm sorry. This was 7 years ago.
Yeah, 2009. That was 7 years ago. We started doing the show, we said, in 2010.
Yeah, the next year. Year. And of course, this was an enterprise of Linda, one of our panelists, Linda Weideman, and one of her friends, Eric Powers. Put that show on. So, and I don't think I've worn this shirt in probably 5 or 6 years. And really, who cares what I wear when? Before I kill the conversation completely, I want to go back to one other thing. And speaking of Chelsea, Chelsea also has a thing coming up, and I think it starts, well, at least yesterday with the website. She had done a thing for National Geographic Channel about future vehicles, and she's featured in there. And I encourage all of you to go to yearoflivingdangerously.com and vote for Chelsea as your there's no voting thing or anything like that, but go to Year of Living Dangerously and see what Chelsea's doing, because she does good stuff. If you've seen those little things, you may have heard of Who Killed the Electric Car and Revenge of the Electric Car. She had something to do with those. Yeah. So here she is involved in this. So cheers, Chels.
Yeah, so I'm chasing it back 20 years ago. Was 1997. And if you read the materials at the time, or even just read back through history, it was my, the way I read it and interpreted it was there was the EV1, and people who drove it really liked it. And Toyota had a RAV4, and I think some other car. And the United States was really pushing electric vehicles and even hybrid vehicles. And they started what was called the Freedom Car. And the Freedom Car was going to be it was going to be a very fuel efficient car. And it was just open to whoever wanted to contribute to it. But there was one stipulation. It was paid for by the U.S. tax dollars, and therefore anyone could contribute to it, but only if you were a U.S. company.
Right.
So, kind of a big deal if you're not a U.S. company, i.e. Toyota and Honda. So reading up on the Freedom Car, and there was actually a gentleman for the Chicago Tribune who I had an opportunity to sit and talk to, Sam. I forgot his last name. He actually gave me permission to reprint his article along with pictures. So what happened was the U.S. government was funding this. The big three were working on this. They managed to kill it, as they're prone to do. But the fact that the United States was doing this scared the Japanese companies enough that by 1999, you had the Honda Insight and the Toyota Prius. The United States stopped working on hybrids and hybrid technology and opened the door for Honda and Toyota to come in with high-efficient hybrids and start selling them and getting the movement going again. So starting back to the EV1 that got people interested, that started the Freedom Car push, that got the Japanese scared enough to think that they weren't going to be able to sell in the United States unless they had high fuel-efficient vehicles, that brought in the Insight and the Prius, that leads up hopefully to where we are now and where we're going in the future.
Which makes one of our news stories tonight that much more sad and poignant, but we'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get there.
We'll get to that in a few minutes.
I said hopefully.
Hopefully. Hey, you know what? Our first story has sparked some small amount of controversy. Eric Stevens on our Facebook page responded rather
Bluntly.
I think so.
I am not in the position to judge the merit of his claims, but I will do him. Let me see. I have to scroll down and find it because, of course, I'm not that prepared.
Yeah.
But I have to. Where did it go? Hello. Oh, darn it. Well, let's just say that Eric was kind enough to take strong issue with this next article. And for reasons that we'll go into as we discuss the story. Autoblog reported that GM had announced that the Chevy Bolt EV battery could lose 40% of its capacity over 8 years. That's a pretty staggering admission. Now, that's not necessarily what it seems. This isn't like a warning that says, hey, we're putting crappy Rayovac batteries in this thing and they're going to wear out really fast. What that's really doing, on one side at least, is being very open about the wear on the batteries and where you could be if you own that vehicle in 8 years. I don't know if this is exposing a flaw in Chevy's battery management software, or if it's just normal wear and tear. I have to tell you, I'm not enough of a technical expert to be able to make that judgment. But I do think Eric's point was that
I have a quote if you'd like me to read it.
Absolutely. Mark, would you please?
Now, can you read it in Eric's voice?
Yeah.
Almost. Stupid bullshit from Tesla fan site. 60% is degradation warranty limited for battery replacement. It does not mean the battery will degrade 40%. The Volt has a similar warranty limit, and the Volts have very little degradation. Funny thing is that GM is the only company to have the balls to put a capacity level on their battery warranty. Most other companies are simply, if your car runs, the battery is fine. End of quote.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think Nissan actually got like nailed to the wall when the the Arizona Leaf incidents were happening, and they had to kind of come out with some statements, 20 to 30% after a few years, yada yada. They may not be the only one, but I will give them credit. I mean, that's ballsy to say, hey, this is what could happen. And obviously not open themselves up for lawsuits or hurt feelings later on down the line if what they said could happen does happen. And as Mark pointed out, no manufacturer hopes that, I mean, we're not talking about designed-in obsolescence here. What we're talking about is the wear potential of this device. Is that fair, Mark?
I think so. It's something that, again, I'm not sure if this is maybe worst case possible scenario if the car was run 24/7, 365 days a year type thing, 24 hours a day. I'm not sure as to why they would put this specific value in place, but they are expecting some degradation. They're just giving, I guess, a worst case scenario would be my guess.
And this has happened with Tesla owners too. God love them. Even our friend Evan Fusco might admit that his batteries aren't what they were when they were brand new. And that's,
no, it's funny. Owning a Volt, I know that and I bought the Volt a couple years after it was produced. So I bought it 2 years old. And there is a buffer in the Volt as to top and bottom end of the battery. But I will say after 2+ years of ownership that the car performs exactly the same as the first day I had it. So I'm getting the exact same mileage. It could be that it's within the buffer and I will never notice it. It may change as time goes along, but to this point, knock on wood, I have not noticed any difference, and it's actually given me more than what the battery's rated for.
Well, and Tony will relate to this very well. I mean, when the Prius was new, the question that all Prius owners had to ask, and all potential Prius owners seemed to have nothing else in their mind but is, what about the batteries? Mm-hmm. And the one thing about the Prius was that the batteries were pretty near bulletproof. And a lot of that was because that the battery, the management system software was very, very good. And like you said, there's a buffer. It doesn't allow the battery to fully discharge or fully overcharge, which shortens the life of the battery.
Right. The Prius goes from 40 to 60%. I mean, honestly, that's really that the Toyota keeps it in that sweet spot right in the middle so that it never, it never overcharges, never under, or over depletes, but keeps it happy. And, my car is 12 years old and, I haven't picked up any battery issues. I had the battery checked only because I happened to be in Madison, Wisconsin, and Eric Powers has a battery checker thing that he plugged into the OBD2 port, drove it around for a while, came back, fed it into the PC and said, yeah, your battery's fine. Everything's tracking exactly where it's supposed to be. So, that was, I guess, a couple years ago now. So that was a 10-year-old battery. Everything's just fine.
There you go.
And with my battery, I've got a 16 kilowatt battery, and I can only use about 10.5 kilowatts. So that extra 5.5 kilowatts is buffer.
Right.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I was when I read this article, and they said, it could be as little as 10%, it could be as much as 40%. The first thing I thought of two things. One was that, like Russell alluded, the Nissan Leafs in the desert, extreme heat. We know that extreme heat can negatively impact batteries. One thing that came up a while back was supercharging and, fast charging batteries. And someone had asked, is that a good idea? And I think the answer was, if you're in a pinch, you could do it, but it's not recommended that you do it every time. But I think that GM has to cover their butts, and if you live in the Southwest United States or in extremely hot conditions, and if you supercharge or fast charge a lot, they have to take that into consideration. People are going to treat their cars, let's say, less than gently, and they came out and said it, like you said. Okay, so if you see 40%, but that's not going to be the average person. The average person may be 10% over 100,000 miles.
I think there's probably going to be more of this as time goes along. We'll get some more clarification on it, but I would be shocked if it was that type of an amount. I think that with their thermally managed battery pack, as they have in the Volt and have pushed forward with the Bolt, I think that 40% is, like you said, it's got to be an absolute worst case. That's possible, but I would be shocked if it was anywhere near that.
Yeah, well, we'll come back in 10 years and find out.
And we will. And we'll be here. I mean, we'll talk about this stuff. We will follow up on this.
Yeah. So tune in if you're in 2027, listening to the show. Go ahead and fast forward to episode 412 and see what we said. Russell's gonna provide the link to that show.
Yeah. I'm gonna link to that in this week's show notes. Absolutely. It's a future link, so only click on it if you have a very special computer.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, take it over and tell me about the story you've got this week.
Yeah, this is a continuing story that anyone that's been watching the nightly news has probably heard bits and pieces of. Let me set it up first. With the election of Donald Trump, there has been some, I guess, people being a little bit scared about what's going to happen with EPA regulations that are currently in effect. In fact, as soon as Mr. Trump was elected, the group of the Auto Alliance, a number of large manufacturers, got together and submitted a letter to him 2 days after his election victory. And basically the letter says that, nobody wants electric cars. We can't keep up with these escalating goals that we have to meet for mileage. We'd like you to back those down. So the EPA, who of course is tracking these amounts, and they're the ones that put them forward, they decided that they were going to try to lock down the values for another couple of years before the Trump administration took power. So our story today, which is linked in the notes, indicates about EPA trying to push to accelerate the adoption of EV vehicles with their rules and regulations that will hopefully lock them down and be very difficult for an incoming administration to be able to change the path that they're on. So, and just late breaking news, just a few minutes ago, I guess Mr. Trump has announced who will be running the EPA. And, it turns out it's, and I'm not quite sure on this, maybe you guys can help me out, but is it a governor or someone that
Oklahoma Attorney General.
And he in the past has tried to sue the EPA. So I don't think he's on side with what they're trying to do.
On side, does that mean dismantle in Canadian? Because that's exactly what his job. That's what his job description is going to be.
So here we have an auto alliance saying, "Hey, lower the standards." We have the EPA coming in to say, "Hey, let's lock in the standards now before the administration gets their hands on it." And now we have the new administration saying, "Let's dismantle it." So
let's privatize the EPA.
Who knows what is going to happen here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's sad. It's just sad, but that's elections have consequences, as I like to say, and that is definitely one of the consequences of this election. Is we're going to see appointments like this, and things are going to change. And speaking of, on a related note, interestingly enough, the new administration has inspired a company who has leapt into the matter of just one day today, who's leapt to the very top of my please kill yourself list. Ford. Well, let me read the Green Car Reports. Our friend Stephen Edelstein at Green Car Reports wrote this 2 days ago. The headline is, and I quote, "Ford will ask Trump to cut fuel economy rules. CEO says no demand for hybrid electric cars."
None.
Yeah. None. Not a single one has been sold.
There's a word missing from there, and it's no demand for Ford hybrid and electric cars. I cannot tell you how disappointing this is. I can't say it's surprising at all, because I think Ford's played both sides of this game, and they, for years.
Yeah.
But it's
just at the last International Auto Show, they announced millions of dollars in investment in EVs,
quote unquote.
Right.
And of course, I don't think any of it happened, but it's just words to be spat out to the press.
Yeah, and reported without checking it out or following up on it, and here it is. I mean, and you know what? I have nothing against the Ford vehicles. The Fusion's a fine car, and I've never driven the C-Max, but I understand it's a decent enough car. It may not be super competitive. It may not be a class leader per se, but there's nothing wrong with it. I think the problem with Ford is that Ford's interest has always been very half-assed and very tepid. The Ford. The Focus Electric was the classic example of this. It was just, it was a halo that they could wear and never really deal with.
They basically rolled it around from car show to car show to say, hey, look what we're doing in the electrification arena. And yeah, I don't think they really did anything with it. In fact, I think it was the Focus Electric at a green drive in Madison. They had it there, but you weren't allowed to open the doors. You weren't allowed to go. Really, they had it roped off.
Yeah.
And
Paper mache.
well, the thing is, what was really funny is that it allegedly was a real car. No one actually ever saw it come or go, which is really funny because it's a small space, and but it just sort of appeared, and they wouldn't really let anyone near it. But apparently, when no one was looking, as we are prone to do, we ran up to the car and we looked inside, and the back was just filled with swag and junk. Like, they didn't bring it to show. It was, or they brought it for show, not to show. And
it was a knapsack, wasn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't even cleaned out inside. It was, it
was like a cheap cardboard box with wheels. Tony, the reason they put those ropes up are because of Danny and I earlier that year in Raleigh. We actually opened the trunk, and instantly there were two Ford people on us. Whoa, back off. I want to tell you, in the trunk, there was this much room. Okay.
Oh my God.
It was just like, it was trunk right up to the lid. It was like, oh, what a nice letter tray. I can bring my stationery along with me. So that's why, they didn't want you digging around in that car. Besides the swag they were hiding in the back seat, which, by the way, we didn't get any of because they pretty much called for our removal immediately.
Yeah, I had the Ford Fusion plug-in hybrid 2 or 3 years ago. I really enjoyed driving that car. I thought that was a great car. I loved the screen, the information screen. I loved it. Was what I called an aggressive hybrid, in that it at any opportunity it could turn the engine off, it would. I got really good mileage. It was a comfortable ride, and I was unfortunate enough to get that car in like January or February. It was butt-ass cold in Chicago, and still that car held its own. If I was looking for a a 4-door sedan that I could, a plug-in hybrid, that's the car I would buy. I really enjoyed that car. Ford did nothing to market that car or let people know that car even existed, and that is an absolute waste.
Yeah, it's a compliance car.
Yeah, God, that was so annoying. Yeah,
it is. It is. So, as I said, I think in the news notes, Ford, delete your account. Just stop, okay? And if your CEO really said that, shame on you. Just really shame on you. You can't be in that much of a hurry to go retro and start selling big block V8s with 4-speed transmissions. I don't know why they find these pretty reasonable fuel efficiency guidelines so untenable all of a sudden, except that they think there's a pliant government who will allow them to bypass it.
Yeah.
So,
or at least be a little more subtle.
And make no mistake, if Toyota comes on board, if Honda comes on board, if Chevrolet comes on board, I'm going to say the same damn things about them and their CEOs. Okay, all these companies that think instantly this is a chance to roll things back. You're going to face the wrath of some consumers.
Yeah.
Well, they certainly will. There is many of us now, excuse me, that will not go back. We won't go back. So if the automakers believe that they'll just weed these out and everyone will go home quietly, what's going to happen is we as a group will go on to the remaining manufacturers, excuse me, that still will make it. So I can speak for myself. I'm sure I can speak for the others here that we've got a taste of the EV bug, and we're not letting go of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. Well said. Well, Tony, do you have some good news for the future?
I would like to think I have something good for the future. Now, this is from yesterday, so maybe Toyota hasn't yet had time to jump on board with Ford. But it was an auto blog, and they had an article that says that Toyota announces new, more efficient powertrains for 60% of its vehicles by 2021. And, you know, I wonder, let me do this. I'm going to share an image of this engine here with you all. Pink, pink, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to share, and it's going to be this one, and I'm just saying this so that you all know what I'm clicking on. And there we go. Okay. Now, so yeah, so Toyota, you know, as in my opinion, as all automobile manufacturers should be doing, Toyota seems to be constantly tweaking and enhancing and fine-tuning their mechanics. And, you know, perhaps this is part of their, I forgot what it's called, the Japanese word that means constantly, you know, making small improvements. Either of you? You got it?
Nope.
Kaizen? Kaizen? Is it Kaizen?
Kaizen. Yes, I believe so.
So
that was me trying to think.
Yeah, it hurt, didn't it?
Yeah, really bad, actually.
Yeah. So they're introducing a new hybrid system, a new 2.5-liter direct injection inline 4-cylinder engine, and 2 new transmissions. One of them is an 8-speed, and the other is a 10-speed. And these are all being built to go on top of the TNGA, the Toyota New Global Architecture. That architecture was introduced with the current generation Prius. Now, some of these are going to go in Toyota vehicles, and some of them are designed for Lexus. And the hybrid system is meant to go with the Toyota Hybrid System 2, what they call the THS2, and have rear-wheel drive applications. And for the Lexus models, the performance has been improved, and the efficiency, especially at high speeds. So basically what this is Toyota coming out and saying that they are, you know, constantly working and tweaking, and they finally come out to announce these new engines that will improve efficiency that they hope to have, again, in 60% of their vehicles by 2021. So hopefully that is a bit of good news. At least one company that is still determined to meet not just EPA standards here in the United States, but overall fuel economy standards around the globe.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that engine thingy looks really complicated.
Yeah. I look at those things and I can't even imagine where to begin on, like, how do you possibly design something like that?
I think they use chalkboards, don't they?
I was thinking Microsoft Paint.
Oh, yeah.
Modeling clay.
Could be.
Modeling clay. Yeah. They whittle them by hand.
Yeah, each and every piece is whittled.
The same way they make Mirais.
Yep.
I had to go there.
You had to go there, didn't you?
Yep.
Toyota makes a more efficient motor, and I just can't let them do. Cheers to Toyota for doing that. Because you know what? Again, improvement is improvement, and that's a good thing. It seems stupid that we have to say that, but what we want is more. You know, we don't want more fossil fuel vehicles, but we do want the ones that we have to be more efficient.
Yeah, and in fact, the current generation Prius was the. I hope I get this right. The first time an engine had 40%. It's not efficiency. It's thermal efficacy. Because I remember in the past, people were saying efficiency, and they're like, no, it's not efficiency. It's a different word. But we'll go with efficiency because I'd have to look it up, and that would just take time. But yeah, and so they set a new benchmark. It's
thermal efficiency.
Is it thermal efficiency? Okay.
Yeah, from the Toyota site.
Okay. So you looked it up pretty fast. Yeah. So setting new benchmark.
That Google.
And then even just continuing to improve. And like I said, like we would like to think, except for Ford, all manufacturers are doing.
Well, let's talk about another manufacturer that actually makes Ford look kind of clued in. I think Ford made a profit, but arguably Mitsubishi's been doing little more than floundering for most places on this planet for a long time. And we've talked, God, more times than I can recall about how Mitsubishi has delayed and obfuscated and blah, blah, blah. The Outlander's coming. It's not, well, it's just got its 6th delay. They're telling us now that the 2018 model will be available late next summer. Sure, count on it. Put your reservations in now. Oddly enough, what Mitsubishi has been focusing on is not sales in the United States, where it would undoubtedly sell very well. This is a vehicle that it would instantly satisfy.
Crying for.
Yeah, the market is crying for, and for some reason Mitsubishi just doesn't want to sell it. But interestingly enough, they have been trying to sell it in Russia. And they just announced that they're going to pull the Outlander PHV from the Russian market because they managed to sell 94 Outlander PHVs in 2 years. Yeah. So I'm so glad the Mitsubishi strategic production team and marketing team spent time and effort to market and get this vehicle to Russia, where they could sell 94 of them.
The only positive that I possibly saw for this, now hold on, stick with it. Someone in the notes said, and I did read through some of the notes. He said it's possible that maybe, this is a stretch, maybe Mitsubishi had them in Russia because they were working on their cold temperature operations. It's a stretch, but maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't really trying to sell it. Maybe this was a beta site sort of.
Because they didn't have any Scandinavian countries that were,
right,
that were cold.
Saskatchewan just doesn't get cold enough. I'm trying my best here.
I just don't know what to say. I mean,
kudos to trying, but that was a losing case to start with.
Yeah,
like, really.
Yeah. Mitsubishi's legal team has lost out not having you on it. That's all I've got to say. I can't even imagine. I mean, there are coal places, lots of, it's inexplicable why they don't want to sell the vehicle here and why they've spent money trying to sell it in Russia, where apparently, guess what? It didn't really go over very well. And I guess a lot of this might have to do with charging stations and the Russian economy and a number of other things, which all I'm sure make good sense. But the point is still, when you choose to go into a tough market and when you intentionally avoid a market that is begging for it, what in the hell is wrong with your brain?
Well, let's put on the speculation hats. What on earth are they doing? Okay, so they know there's a market that's dying for SUVs. They would love to have an SUV that gets a little bit of EV range. They would buy it. No question, the price is there. There's a rebate available. They would sell like hotcakes. Okay, so why will they not sell it in the States or Canada? Why is that? Speculation one. Is it because it would sell? And they don't have the ability to put out that type of volume? Is that why they're not doing it? That would be my guess. They know it would sell like hotcakes and they cannot produce them in that amount. Or speculation number two, it's costing them a fortune and they can't afford to make little or no profit on multiple vehicles being blown out.
Well, I mean, at some point, Mitsubishi is going to have to lose money on something. You know what I mean? Like what Mitsubishi's gotten good at is not selling cars.
You're right.
Sadly, that's the only thing they excel at anymore. I mean,
not a good thing to excel at, really.
Yeah, right. No, but I think your first item I've seen everywhere, and I think that's a common, which is Mitsubishi's scared of the U.S. market, and they don't have the production capacity to fulfill orders there, which is weird. Being scared of success, even then, if it was supply constrained,
they would sell all you got, and then people love it, and you're saying, okay, we're trying to make more, but we can't. At least you went and sold them.
Well, and you get the positive PR and grassroots from that. I think more likely it is possible that there is a money issue or something. Maybe somebody's just why are Toyota and Honda still chasing hydrogen? I can't explain it. I can't. We've gone around and around in this show. Like what? And there's obviously something they know that we don't know, and there's a reason. And maybe it's just somebody at the top has a bug up their ass and says hydrogen, or somebody has a bug up their ass and says, no, we're not selling that Outlander in the United States.
It's amazing.
Okay.
It's amazing because even this past summer, we had an Outlander come to Toronto and they displayed it with the other EVs, and I'm asking the guy, well, when is it coming? And he doesn't know. It's like, okay, so why are you showing it? Like, because we know it hasn't gone anywhere in North America, and then you bring it to Toronto and put it on display, and you can't buy it, and you can't tell us when it's coming. Like, why? I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up here, and I can't find it. I was trying to find where the Mitsubishi plug-in Outlander is manufactured.
Good point. I don't know where that would be.
I don't know.
Yeah, the only place I was thinking to find it would be the Wikipedia for the Outlander, and it gives a lot of specs for the plug-in, but does not seem to indicate where it's actually manufactured. And that was part of I was thinking is if it's manufactured, in Europe, then it would be just easier to sell it there than to bring them over, or are they actually manufacturing them like in the States and then just stupidly sending them to Russia?
No, they could. It's got to be manufactured somewhere in Europe. It has to be. But still, the point is, you could sell all of your volume in the States. And okay, granted, you don't want to do that. Maybe it's cheaper to keep them in Europe. But man, wouldn't you want the goodwill of selling a few or a dozen or 100 of them to a new market and saying, here's the reason we should invest. Look, it's selling. It's blowing out the doors.
Well, and maybe people would come to your dealership, for God's sakes. And I know I've said this before, and maybe is this only true for me, but are the very worst car ads and the most expensive, hokey, horrible direct mail advertising, does it come to you from Mitsubishi dealers? Because in my world, definitely. I get, this car key will open a lucky car. I get scratch off lotto tickets from Mitsubishi. I get crap from Mitsubishi almost every week, begging me to go down to the Mitsubishi dealer and buy something that I've never heard of that I could care less about.
Okay, guys, check this out. According to the Wikipedia page for the Outlander, as of August 2015, the Outlander plug-in hybrid was available for retail in 48 countries and ranked as the world's top-selling plug-in hybrid in 2014. And the cumulative global sales passed 100,000 units in March of 2016.
Yeah, we reported on that.
Yeah, so it's the all-time top-selling plug-in in the Netherlands, which probably isn't that much, but they've sold 100,000 of these things. So you can't say, well, I mean, you could say it's a manufacturing bottleneck, but they've been able to manufacture and sell 100,000 of them.
Yeah, why wouldn't you take 10,000 and ship them to the U.S. and open up a new market?
Yeah, I don't know. Right hand versus left hand drive, metric charging versus imperial.
Metric charging.
Yeah, metric charging.
Okay, ship them to Canada.
Right. Okay, at least Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. Those bastards are all that commie.
We're all metric stuff now, so it doesn't bother us at all.
This is a frustrating week. Some Ford CEO pops off with, we want to make trucks less efficient or some crap like this. And thank God Trump's in the White House and now we can do it. And Mitsubishi can't sell Outlanders in one place, but doesn't want to sell them in the other place where they could sell.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. Like you said, Russell, it's something that we are not in the know. It just does not make logical sense.
Well, and that's, I think we all tend to. I have there's a thing called sort of like an implied competency that if you run a big company, you're super competent. Even if that company is Ford and your last name is Ford and your competency is being genetically linked to Ford, that's still like oh, well, he's CEO. He must know something. The truth is, not all the time. A lot of these people are guessing, and they're not going to tell you that. But that's the sad truth. A lot of executives or whatever, that just because they got to where they are doesn't necessarily mean they're the very best human that could possibly fill that spot, because a lot of times it's something else, kids. Sorry.
So when you hear something like, like the Ford thing, getting back, to the Ford, when you hear something like the CEO of Ford go straight to President-elect Trump and starts talking about, lowering emission standards, and then you think back over the years and the few times we've given a tip of the hat to Ford for maybe announcing that they're going to do development in this, or announcing that they're going to do this, or they come out with that. I mean, it almost feels like, have we been hoodwinked? Is it bait and switch? Are they just, stringing us along until someone gets elected that is going to, lower standards? Is it just a game that they're playing?
Yeah,
it does seem like that, doesn't it?
I think it's completely a game. I mean, why should I give them? Why should I pretend they're honest when I'm not really seeing a lot of honesty?
Yeah, it's remarkable that this it's almost like a carousel. It just spins around and around, and it's almost like you said, Tony, that they're just maybe waiting until somebody else is in position that allows them to do what they really want to do.
Right. And, going back to the Green Car Report story on Ford, they're talking about Mark Fields, the CEO of Ford, from who this quote comes from. I'm going to read two sentence paragraph here. Quote from the Green Car Report story. Fields said there is no market for electrified cars, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and electric cars. Its highest volume and most profitable vehicle is the Ford F-Series line of full-size and even larger Super Duty pickup trucks. I mean, that isn't dishonesty. That's honesty. We want to make this other shit. We want to make big trucks and sell them because
we make the most profit on them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And in a way, again, expecting a corporation to have a conscience or a heart or the idea of looking past the next quarter or looking at long-term future good, we know that doesn't happen.
Companies don't have hearts. They have shareholders.
Yeah, and shareholders that watch the bottom line.
Yeah, in the shortest give it to me now terms possible. So, that Ford is going to nakedly abandon wearing a green halo and start, producing big trucks. It wants to produce more big trucks and lower efficiency standards on those. Doesn't surprise me in the least.
Well, I think I know what I need to do now. I'm going to take a bunch of money. I'm going to buy some Ford stock. When they sell more F-150s and the stock price goes up, I'm going to sell the stock and use the profit to buy a Tesla.
There you go. I like that.
Yep.
I like that. I don't know if it'll work, Tony, but
a very small Tesla.
A very, very not that big.
Very Hot Wheels. Yeah.
Well, kids, we managed to run through the news this week.
Is that it? Wow.
That's it.
Wait. I got one more that I want to.
More?
I want to cover this.
Okay.
Just for Russell.
Oh. Does it have dramatic music? Because I have dramatic music. Okay.
Yes. And I have no idea how well this is going to do, because what I'm going to try to do is play a video on a screen share.
Oh, no.
I'm going to bet hashtag epic fail.
Don't do it, Tony. Stop. Turn back.
Wave off. Okay. Hold on just a second.
I'm really shiny this week. I need to talk to my makeup person. Look at Coghlan. He's not shiny.
Okay, hold on.
I look like I'm covered in varnish.
Yeah, kind of. You do.
You shouldn't varnish so close to the show.
Yeah, exactly. My day off, I varnished. Hold on,
okay,
Tony.
So can you screen share me?
Yeah. Present to everyone. There you go.
Present to me. Okay. So yeah. Now, those of you listening to the audio podcast,
don't hurt.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, man. Those of you in the audio podcast, you just have to listen to it. The link will be in the show notes.
Yes.
For those of you watching, if you can go full screen, or you can watch the video in the show notes. But I'm going to play it now. Wait, do we have audio?
No, I don't have any
Not
audio.
yet.
Oh, man, we don't have any audio because it's using my microphone
Yeah.
and not my thing. Oh, that's too bad.
So we're going to have 3 minutes and 32 seconds of
Silence.
Silence. Yeah, no, we're not.
Tell me the
because-
video gets better, okay? Because the video is boring. I saw a brook and I see some trees. Now,
Yes, the
where's the
video.
motorcycle?
Okay. Well, okay. So the motorcycle. Have you not seen this? The yoke hammer.
Oh God, that is the ugliest piece of shit on the planet.
I know it really is, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah, you know what? We reported on that a year and a half ago.
I'm still presenting to everyone. That's unfortunate.
I'm sorry.
Can you
there
stop?
you go. Yep, there you
Okay.
go. Hey, Tony. But you're so cute.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we reported on it a year and a half ago when it was.
Mhm.
I don't want to say it was uglier, but yeah, it was just about uglier.
Yeah.
And no,
I
it's
thought,
not the Tesla motorcycles.
It's not the because Tesla is sleek and sexy, and this thing literally looks like a wedge of something trying to force its way through the air. I thought it was interesting in that there's no center dashboard, that the information is displayed in the rearview mirrors, the side mirrors, and even the mirror housing themselves serve as headlights and turn indicators, which I thought was kind of interesting. I forgot, it's 100 miles to a charge, a 3-hour, they said, charge.
Which is crap.
Yeah.
100-mile charge. I mean, I can.
No.
I can,
Wait, hold on. I think I'm wrong. See, I'd have to listen to it now. Yeah.
Why?
See, the problem is it's all video, and
Everyone check it out from the link and just.
I swear we even showed video of this thing last time.
yeah,
Here,
we might have.
this is. Let's. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to screen share now.
Yeah.
This show's completely off the rails now.
Oh, how's that? There. That's
we
the
go.
motorcycle.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
That's
okay?
the motorcycle.
Is that the ugliest piece of shit you've ever seen? And my God, why would you want to be seen in public on it?
That is
It is-
straight out of Blade Runner, isn't it?
It's no. There is nothing that's stupid in Blade Runner. Nothing.
Come on, it looks like a Blade Runner mobile.
It's like something out of like some crappy Godzilla movie, maybe. You know, like, oh, let's get on your future cycle and go. You know, and it's like, come on.
Yeah,
It's just
I
awful.
honestly think you definitely could have made something a little more attractive. That really looks Orwell 1984 post-apocalyptic industrial.
It's got an insect look too with those rear view mirrors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And really, that's being mean to insects. It just is. I cannot. It is so fugly. It is.
Yeah,
so
it really is. It really is. Yeah, it's even last call. I wouldn't take that home.
And I'm the guy who liked the Fido scooter. Okay. So you know, I by no means. And does anybody here remember the Fido scooter?
No.
No,
That
I do
Linda
not.
Weideman busted my. Oh my God. Here we go. Okay, I got it.
Going back.
Oh, we're going back, baby. I'm gonna there. I love this thing.
Oh my God! What is that?
I love it. It's brilliant. It's a scooter. It's an electric scooter, but it's very cool and it's got some really cool features. And it's a scooter. It's not supposed to be like a hot $75,000 sex machine. It's supposed to be a stupid scooter.
Well, it
Okay.
succeeded there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's cute, but that
It's something.
Joe Hammer thing is just offensive. I don't
Yeah,
know any
okay,
other way to
wait.
put it.
Hold on.
There's
I got
no way you can look cool on it.
Well, and to prove your point, let me pull up a picture here. Not even the attractive woman looks cool on the motorcycle.
She looks like she wants to fall off. Oh, please, for the love of God, get me off this thing.
Yeah,
It's just so poorly conceived. It's just,
No one said they were going to take photos.
yeah,
right.
yeah. Asshole. Yeah. So yeah, shame on that thing. Thank you for wrecking my night. This has just been like a negative
You're
Russell
gonna have
night.
nightmares now.
Yeah, I am. I am definitely going to have nightmares. That yes, Russell, you get an electric motorcycle, and it's a Joe
It's
hammer.
that one. Yes.
Yes, and you have to ride it until you die.
Tony, do we still have time for the low speed noise story?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I didn't know we had that one.
Yeah. Come on.
You posted it just recently on the What Drives Us Facebook page.
Oh, geez.
Do you want me to get it, Tony?
Yeah, I'd have to find it.
I got it right here. Hold on. I got it. Thank God one of us knows how to. No.
A brilliant,
Okay, so Tony,
brilliant solution.
do you want to talk about? Do you want to do the lead in before I share the picture?
I got to tell you honestly, I don't fully remember the whole thing.
Okay. So here's the caption. Customer complained of a whistling sound from the engine.
Oh yes, there it is. Okay,
Here's
yeah.
the
Sorry.
photograph.
Oh, can you?
There you go.
Yeah, resize your browser.
No, I'm not that technically competent. It doesn't. There. Yeah, it's. But come on, you can see what this is.
Okay. Yeah. So
It's
apparently,
a harmonica.
yes. So apparently, what had happened was this guy's friends apparently zip tied a harmonica facing forward, so that as he drove, the air came through and blew through every hole in the harmonica. So the guy took it to the mechanic, saying there was some whistling noise under the hood, and the mechanic found a harmonica.
That's fantastic. That is really good.
Yes.
So I'm thinking now that maybe all the electric cars, that would be a cheap solution, just to
That
put a
would be.
harmonica in the front. And if
That would be the pedestrian warning system.
there you go,
harmonica.
bingo.
Playing the blues as you roll down the street. And it does remind me of a video I stumbled upon on YouTube at some point in my 2 a.m. YouTube ramblings. Some guys had wired this guy's car, and they connected the horn to the brakes. So the guy gets in his car, he drives to the end of the block, he gets to the stop sign, puts on his brake, and the car goes, "Arr!"
Oh man, that's great.
And then he takes off again. Hits his
So
brakes.
anytime he hit the brake, the horn would go off.
The horn would blow. And so there's the guys, I mean, the video is shaking because the guy's laughing so hard. And the car turns around. And as the car's coming up, it's the car. And then as it gets closer to them, the horn goes, "Arr!" and it comes to a complete stop. And the guy gets out. He's just swearing at him.
That is so horrible. Oh my God. That's why I don't have friends.
That's why I don't have friends who are good at wiring.
Yeah.
I'll ask Paul next time he's on the show if he's done that.
I don't need friends that are that clever. Thank you. The
Yes.
harmonica thing's brilliant. I mean,
That is great.
damn, what are you going to do? Well, kids, I think that's our show for tonight. And thank you, Tony, for the last minute harmonica thing. That's just wonderful. So let's read the credits and go home. I'm going to start, and I'm going to say, if you own a Prius and you need accessories or fun stuff for your car, be sure to visit the Prius shop for all your accessory needs. You can find it at priuschat.com/shop. That's priuschat.com/shop. Every item sold at the Prius shop has been tested and inspected by Prius owners. priuschat.com/shop. All those offspring of Danny's, they need every damn dime you can get.
And how many of those dimes actually come to us for reading his advertisement every week?
Well, actually, no, that's not true. Danny sends me a check once in a while.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice of
That's
him.
good.
Has it been filled out?
No, it's literally just a check. It's
Okay.
not a check for money. It's just a check.
It's a clip art of
It's a clip art check that he sends me.
Check mark.
He sends it by email. He told me that I wasn't worth a stamp.
Right.
So
It's Clippy from Microsoft Word. It looks like you're reading an advertisement. Can I help you with that?
Exactly.
I want to make sure everyone knows that you've heard it all before. I'm going to say it again. Please, if you haven't yet, go to our Facebook page, like us there. If you use Flipboard, look for the What Drives Us magazine. That right now it looks like that myself and Philip Barclay are the ones pretty much posting articles up there. And I have to give a shout out to Philip because, sometimes I just go through days where I'm just reading stuff and either I just forget or I'm just not in the mood to flip things up. And then I come in the next day and I see that Philip's thrown 7 or 9 new articles up there. So he's keeping it fresh. And go up there if you use Flipboard, which I think is a really good news aggregator. If you haven't tried it yet, give it a try. And if you like it and you decide to stick with it, find our magazine and subscribe to it.
There you go. And be sure to visit us at our main site, whatdrives.us. We post every show in audio and video form for streaming and downloading, or downloading if you care. But you can stream it and download it, or stream it or download it, whatever you prefer. Also at whatdrives.us, we post articles and reviews from famous experts like Tony Shaper. So if you want to read Tony's amazingly well-written, definitive, dare I say, series on hypermodeling, you can read it there. Our complete archives and more, all at whatdrives.us.
And of course, like Russell mentioned, streaming, make sure that you don't miss a single show by going to Stitcher, Slacker, YouTube, Google Play, or iTunes. Have we gotten the one?
No. Don't even mention it. Don't even mention it.
Oh,
you're going to curse me.
Nothing. Okay.
We're not on TuneIn.
Okay.
Oh, he blurted out the name.
I said it.
Dang it.
I know.
Yeah.
I suck. As always, I want to thank Michael Mannering for our theme music. You can visit him at manthing.com. And of course, you can see his videos on YouTube or whatever you like, but manthing.com. Tell Michael thanks and buy a song or two of his. The guy's brilliant. I want to thank our panelists, my panelists, your panelists, whoever they are, Mark and Tony, dudes.
Thank you.
My favorite panelists.
Favorite.
The hell with those other people that aren't on the show this week. They might be my favorite again some other time, but this week, you're my favorite.
There we go.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay?
Absolutely.
I mean that. Okay, that's coming from here. The Green Drive t-shirt. That's what that's coming from. That's coming from the Green Drive Expo t-shirt.
And Tony, I got a question for you.
Okay.
What do you not like about this steering wheel?
Well, let's see.
On a past show, there was the comment that it looked unsatisfactory to you.
Now, this is a new steering wheel. On the previous steering wheel, maybe this was the first gen Volt, maybe the first year of the first gen Volt. Those 2 rocker switches, one on the left thumb, one on the right thumb.
Yep.
I remember one of them
wasn't a rocker switch.
It only rocked up.
Yeah.
Or something. And I think one only rocked up and the other only rocked down, or it was something.
Yeah, it's
totally.
It's the right hand one. The right hand one only rocks down.
Then why is it a rocker switch?
Because they had an extra one.
Because we gave them shit 3 years ago for using 2 different switches.
Yeah. And I think that was the thing. And they were 2 different switches, and the layout seemed to be different. And even on the left there, I can see on the left that, on the left, there's something on the far left, the rocker switch, and then what looks like the thing. What is the dial with the arrow? Does that control your?
That's cruise control.
No, not that one. Go closer to the middle. Closer to the middle. That one.
That is turn off cruise control.
Okay, and then what's underneath
turn on,
it?
turn off.
What's underneath it?
There's a blank space. So
why is there a blank space?
Because
why?
Up is on and flick it back to a stationary position is off. So you push it in to turn it on and you flick it back to normal for it to be off. And of course, that corresponds with a light on the dash.
That steering wheel's too big.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
I love the steering wheel, but that's saying something too. So I just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah.
You are allowed to have an opinion here. I mean, I don't think anybody, expects you to put up with our bullshit if we don't like the Volt steering wheel and you like it.
Yeah. Oh, and I guarantee you, Mark, and I promise you that many of the hardware and software engineers, the company I work for, stopped inviting me to meetings.
For a number of reasons.
For a number of reasons.
No reason whatsoever. It's just,
not because I kept criticizing their stuff.
No,
it was their parking lot was the problem.
Yes, yeah, clearly that must have been it.
The problem is they didn't like Tony's explanation of grill blocking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, that must have been it. Yeah, I and the thing is, and I always say this, the things I don't care about, I don't comment on. So, it's I only take the time to critique the things that I care enough to critique and I think could be better. So the fact that I'm criticizing the Volt steering wheel is not because I'm trying to slam Chevy. It's because I think you can do better, and so, I mean, that's it. It's so me critiquing is not a bad thing.
Just the past episode, you came up with that, and I said, "Oh, I can't believe that he doesn't like the Volt steering wheel. I cannot believe it."
I didn't like the Volt steering wheel in when was that, Russell? When were we out in California?
2011.
Yeah. See, that was
That was a long time ago,
5 years ago.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, let's be. Okay, I'll get crucified for this, but I'll put it out there.
It's going.
In general, when it comes to interior amenities, Chevy doesn't do as nice a job as some of the other imported car companies.
Fair.
They tend to cut corners, which sometimes they get better at, and the Volt interior, I think, is an exception in general.
I would definitely say that,
especially the new Volt compared to the old Volt, which some of the decisions I didn't agree with were aesthetic, and some of them were just like, I don't understand this, like the steering wheel controls or something. But I mean, I've been in more than a few Chevys, and oh my God, I mean, they make some really bad decisions. Interior wise, on just cutting corners and doing things, and you're like, wow, this door is really plasticky, for God's sakes. You're like, holy hell, it's made out of plastic. I mean, that kind of stuff. And that's like the Malibu or something like that.
And I will say I loved the shit out of driving the Volt. And I've said every time the Volt is a great car. If the only thing I can complain about is the steering wheel, that is a really good thing.
For us, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't mind complaining about things. If that's all I got. Hey,
I just want to tell you, we got within 2 sentences of signing off 5 minutes ago. Okay.
Oh yeah, hey, that's right. We'll get it in post.
Sorry for derailing the show.
No, you know what, dude? You are allowed to open up a rat hole too. I got to admit that was deft, because never has anyone opened up a rat hole literally 2 sentences.
2 sentences away.
So here's the thing. This is like bonus material, because how many people heard us reading off the same old regular script and then just left. Yeah. Exactly. See, this is bonus material for the hardcore listener.
The hardcore listeners.
The Marvel extra scene at the end after the credits.
That's right. That's right.
That only the fans stay for.
This is track 99 on the CD.
Mark, what brought that up?
I wanted to show it last week, and then my browser screwed up. I couldn't bring it up, so I just laid quiet for another week.
That's what you get for using IE8.
And you waited the whole show for that?
I waited the entire show just to do that.
I would have made that a topic if you wanted. I mean, why not? I love that.
Hell, I made it a topic. Look how long we've taken on this.
and it really deserves more time spent than on that stupid Outlander. Or Mark Fields, Okay, that's all for this week. Make sure you tune in or download us next week and find out what drives us.
Boom.
Right there. Hey, see you guys. I don't get to. See you next week.
See ya.